Ever wonder which classic dinners from the 1970s deserve a comeback? Let's take a journey through 25 delicious meals that were once a staple in American households. While a few die-hard fans still prepare these dishes, they've largely disappeared from modern menus. It's time to turn back the clock and revisit some nostalgic favorites. Beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff was a go-to dish for dinner parties in American homes throughout the 1970s. This rich and creamy dish consists of tender strips of beef in a sour cream sauce, typically served over egg noodles. Originally a Russian dish dating back to the 19th century, it found immense popularity in the U.S. after World War II. By the 1970s, it had evolved to include mushrooms and onions, with many home cooks opting for a shortcut by using cream of mushroom soup. The dish was a regular feature in dinner parties and family cookbooks, admired for its elegant presentation and hearty flavor. What made beef stroganoff especially appealing to 1970s families was its ability to turn budget-friendly cuts of beef into a special meal, making it a great choice for a time when the economy was tough. Magazines like Family Circle and Better Homes and Gardens frequently published variations of this recipe, showing it was just as suitable for weeknight dinners as it was for entertaining guests. Chicken à la king. Chicken à la king is a comforting dish that combines diced chicken in a rich cream sauce with mushrooms, pimentos, and sometimes peas. This American invention dates back to the early 20th century, with several New York hotels claiming its origins. By the 1970s, it became a go-to dish for using up leftover chicken, often served over toast points, rice, or puff pastry shells. This dish was especially popular at ladies' luncheons and casual dinner parties, with its creamy texture and vibrant colors, making it both satisfying and visually appealing. Thanks to convenient canned ingredients, it was also an accessible option for home cooks who wanted to create something special without spending too much time. As more women entered the workforce during the 1970s, dishes like chicken à la king offered a solution for busy mothers who needed to prepare meals quickly. Recipe cards from this era often included make-ahead instructions, allowing the dish to be prepared in advance and reheated for a fast weeknight meal, which was particularly valuable for budget-conscious families. Fondue. Fondue parties were all the rage in the 1970s, with the communal pot of melted cheese becoming the centerpiece of many social gatherings. This Swiss dish gained immense popularity in American homes during the decade, with many newlyweds receiving fondue sets as wedding gifts. Traditional fondue preparation involves melting Gruyere and Emmental cheeses with white wine, garlic, and a touch of kirsch. Guests would then spear cubes of bread onto long forks and dip them into the bubbling mixture. Beyond cheese, chocolate, and oil fondues also became trendy. Fondue represented the interactive, casual dining experience that defined the era's social gatherings. The 1970s fondue craze went beyond just the food. It embodied a love for social dining that encouraged conversation and connection. Fondue parties were seen as modern and even a bit exotic, allowing suburban Americans to add a European touch to their homes without needing advanced cooking skills. The fondue craze reached such heights in the 1970s that specialized fondue restaurants began to pop up in major cities, featuring variations with cheese, oil, and chocolate. Fondue became a symbol of sophisticated dining in America during this time. This savory Swiss dish, made with melted cheese and enjoyed by dipping bread into it, became a fun and interactive way to entertain guests at home. Quiche lorraine. Quiche lorraine became a symbol of sophisticated dining in 1970s America. This savory French tart is made with a flaky pastry crust, filled with eggs, cream, bacon, and Swiss cheese. Initially popular in upscale restaurants, it quickly made its way into American home kitchens as more people embraced French cuisine. Women's magazines of the era frequently featured quiche recipes, promoting it as the perfect dish for brunches and light dinners. Its popularity continued into the early 1980s, until the humorous publication Real Men Don't Eat Quiche suggested it wasn't masculine enough, ironically highlighting its cultural significance in the previous decade. What made quiche so appealing to 1970s home cooks was its versatility and ease of preparation. Despite its French origins, it was simple to make ahead, served at room temperature, and could be customized with various vegetables or cheeses. Quiche became a staple at dinner parties and weekend brunches, where friends would gather for mimosas and slices of quiche alongside fresh green salads. Swedish meatballs. Swedish meatballs became a beloved dish in American homes during the 1970s, partly due to the growing influence of international cuisines. These small, tender meatballs, made with a mix of ground beef and pork, seasoned with nutmeg and allspice, and served in a rich cream gravy, became a cocktail party favorite. Often served with lingonberry jam, they introduced Americans to a taste of Scandinavian cooking. These meatballs were commonly served in electric chafing dishes at social gatherings or as a family meal over egg noodles. Their popularity spread so widely that they became a fixture in frozen dinner lines and were featured in nearly every community cookbook of the decade. The 1970s fascination with Swedish meatballs coincided with Americans' growing interest in international travel and cuisine, as affordable overseas flights became more accessible to middle-class families. Smart marketing from companies like Stouffer's and Swanson, who included Swedish meatballs in their frozen meals, helped cement the dish in the American food landscape. Home cooks took pride in making their own versions, often tweaking the traditional recipes to suit American tastes or using available ingredients. Some families had secret ingredients, perhaps a splash of Worcestershire sauce or a particular ratio of beef to pork, that gave their meatballs a personal touch. This customization allowed Swedish meatballs to bridge the gap between exotic foreign cuisine and comforting home-cooked tradition, impressing guests while remaining approachable. Salisbury steak. Salisbury steak was a quintessential 1970s family dinner, consisting of ground beef patties smothered in rich brown gravy, often with mushrooms and onions. Despite its fancy name, it was an affordable and hearty meal that helped stretch ground beef to feed a family. Created by Dr. J.H. Salisbury in the late 19th century as part of his meat-centered diet plan, it became a staple in American households by the 1970s. Salisbury steak was commonly served with sides like mashed potatoes and green peas, offering a complete meal that fit the meat and potatoes American dining tradition. Its comforting nature made it especially popular during the economic challenges of the decade. Over time, Salisbury steak evolved from its simple origins, and regional variations emerged. Southern versions, for example, often added bell peppers, giving the dish a local twist while retaining its classic appeal. Salisbury steak's versatility extended beyond its simple ingredients, with variations appearing in different regions. In the South, bell peppers might be added to the gravy, while in the Midwest, a small amount of oatmeal could be mixed into the patties for added tenderness. This dish's practicality made it a perfect choice for novice cooks, often appearing in first-time cookbook collections. Chicken devon. Chicken devon is a comforting casserole made with chicken and broccoli, smothered in a creamy cheese sauce and baked until golden brown. It originated in the early 20th century at the Dean Parisian restaurant in New York City, named after the place that created it. Initially, it was designed to showcase the chef's French cooking skills, but by the mid-20th century, it became known for blending sophistication with simplicity. During the 1970s, chicken devon became a popular way to use leftover chicken. Many home cooks adapted the recipe to incorporate convenience products like canned soup. The dish was especially appreciated for its ability to be prepared in advance, a feature that made it ideal during the 1970s energy crisis. Baked alongside other dishes, it helped save oven space and reduce energy consumption, which was a significant concern during fuel shortages. Magazines like Good Housekeeping often promoted casseroles like chicken devon for their one-dish convenience. The dish bridged the gap between generations. Older cooks appreciated its classical roots, while younger homemakers embraced simplified versions, such as those with cream of chicken soup. Many families made it on Sundays using leftover roast chicken, establishing a weekly tradition. School cookbooks and church fundraising collections often included their versions, with added personal touches like water chestnuts for crunch or sliced almonds for garnish, reflecting how deeply embedded chicken devon had become in American family cooking by the mid-1970s. Stuffed bell peppers. Stuffed bell peppers became a popular dinner option in 1970s American households. This colorful dish featured bell peppers filled with a mixture of ground beef, rice, tomato sauce, and cheese. It was an economical and visually appealing way for home cooks to stretch ground beef while creating a meal that looked impressive. The traditional preparation involved parboiling the peppers, stuffing them with a meat mixture, and then baking them until tender. During the 1970s, variations emerged using convenience products like instant rice and canned tomato soup. Stuffed bell peppers were a common feature in women's magazines of the era, as they offered a way to incorporate vegetables into family meals in a way even picky eaters would enjoy. They were typically served with extra tomato sauce, making them a complete one-dish meal. The vibrant colors and neat presentation of the stuffed peppers made them ideal for the growing trend of casual dinner parties in the 1970s. Home cooks took pride in creating eye-catching arrangements, using a mix of green, red, and yellow peppers, reflecting the era's increasing appreciation for colorful food presentation beyond fine dining. Tuna noodle casserole. Tuna noodle casserole was a budget-friendly staple in American households during the 1970s. This humble dish combined egg noodles, canned tuna, and cream of mushroom soup, topped with crushed potato chips or breadcrumbs for added crunch. Originally gaining popularity during the Great Depression and World War II due to meat rationing, it remained a go-to weeknight dinner throughout the 1970s. Tuna noodle casserole represented the era's reliance on convenient pantry ingredients and one-dish meals that could feed an entire family economically. Many recipe cards from the 1970s show variations of tuna casserole, with added ingredients like cheese or pimentos to enhance both flavor and color. Though often mocked today as a symbol of outdated American cooking, the dish provided reliable comfort to many families during a decade marked by economic uncertainty. The 1970s versions of tuna casserole reflected the growing nutritional awareness of the time, with many recipes incorporating whole wheat noodles or additional vegetables to boost the meal's health benefits. Campbell's Soup Company actively promoted the dish in their advertising campaigns, positioning it as a quick and easy solution for busy mothers balancing work and family life. If you're enjoying this trip down memory lane, consider supporting us on Patreon. Your membership helps us uncover more forgotten classics and bring them back to life. The link is in the description below. We'll also find exclusive content on additional recipes and cooking techniques from the era that we couldn't fit into this video. Now, let's continue our delicious journey through the 1970s. Ham steak with pineapple. Ham steak with pineapple offers a delightful blend of flavors, featuring grilled ham steak topped with a juicy pineapple ring. This simple yet appealing dish gained popularity in the United States during the mid-20th century and became a staple for satisfying dinners throughout the 1970s. The dish is made by grilling or pan-frying the ham steak until it's nicely browned, then crowning it with a pineapple ring and occasionally a maraschino cherry for an extra festive touch. The sweet and savory combination was particularly popular as Americans embraced tropical flavors, often pairing it with sides like scalloped potatoes or green beans. Ham steak with pineapple epitomized the 1970s fascination with tiki culture, which influenced home cooking with Polynesian-inspired flavors. It brought a touch of exoticism to middle-class dinner tables. Many home cooks added a brown sugar glaze or a splash of rum, creating a delicious caramelized finish. Chicken cordon bleu. Chicken cordon bleu is a sumptuous dish consisting of breaded chicken breast stuffed with ham and cheese. Its name, cordon bleu, meaning blue ribbon, in French, reflects its prestigious origins, believed to have started in Switzerland in the mid-20th century before gaining popularity in the U.S. The preparation involves flattening chicken breasts, layering them with ham and Swiss cheese, rolling them up, coating them in breadcrumbs, and then frying or baking until golden and crispy. The rise of gourmet frozen meals in the 1970s significantly boosted the popularity of chicken cordon bleu, as it could maintain its flavor and texture even after freezing and reheating. The dish became a favorite for formal dinners and special occasions. During the 1970s, it struck the perfect balance between sophisticated European cuisine and American practicality. Impressive enough to serve to guests, yet simple enough for home cooks to master, it often appeared at dinner parties alongside rice pilaf and asparagus, creating an elegant plate that was highly admired at the time. Women's magazines frequently featured variations of the dish to keep it fresh, with some recipes using different cheeses like Gruyere or mozzarella, while others substituted prosciutto for the ham as more women entered the workforce. During the 1970s, partially prepared versions of many dishes began appearing in supermarket meat departments, allowing busy professionals to serve what seemed like complex meals with minimal effort on weeknights. One such dish was chicken cordon bleu, with its satisfying moment when the knife first cuts through the crispy exterior, revealing the melted cheese inside. This became a dramatic dining experience, offering not just a meal, but a form of entertainment at the family table during special occasions. Steak Diane. Steak Diane is a classic dish featuring tender beef steaks smothered in a rich cognac sauce, often flambéed right at the table for added theatricality. Originating in mid-20th century America, the dish is named after Diana, the Roman goddess of the hunt. It's made by pan-frying beef tenderloin and creating a sauce from the pan juices, cognac, butter, mustard, and Worcestershire sauce. The addition of flambéing enhances the rich flavors and adds dramatic flair to the dining experience. Steak Diane became synonymous with fine dining, particularly in New York City restaurants like the Drake and the Sheraton Netherland, where celebrities were frequent guests. It was first thought to have debuted in the 1950s and quickly became a symbol of high-end dining throughout the 1970s. Often served with mashed potatoes or vegetables, it embodied the elegance of mid-century dining. By the 1970s, Steak Diane moved from exclusive restaurant fare to an ambitious dish prepared in American homes, as people sought to recreate upscale dining experiences in their own kitchens. Duck à l'orange. Duck à l'orange is a classic French dish that pairs roasted duck breast with a tangy orange sauce. Dating back to the 19th century, it was popular among French aristocrats. The duck is roasted to a crispy finish, while the sauce is made from a reduction of orange juice, stock, and sometimes Grand Marnier or Cointreau. By the 1970s, duck à l'orange became a symbol of sophisticated home dining, often chosen for elegant dinner parties or special occasions. The delightful contrast between the savory duck and the fresh citrusy sauce creates a unique and unforgettable flavor profile. It was a dish that showcased the American interest in international gourmet cooking, and for home cooks, preparing duck à l'orange was considered a culinary achievement, demonstrating skill, planning, and timing. Julia Child's detailed demonstration of the dish on her PBS show The French Chef gave Americans the confidence to recreate this restaurant-quality meal at home. Waldorf salad. Waldorf salad, a refreshing side dish, became a popular feature on many 1970s dinner tables. Created in the late 1800s at New York's Waldorf Astoria Hotel, this salad combines crisp apples, celery, walnuts, and grapes in a creamy mayonnaise dressing. By the 1970s, it became a fixture at dinner parties and holiday meals, often served on a bed of lettuce as an elegant first course. The Waldorf salad represented the era's fascination with classic American cuisine, reimagined with a fresh twist. During the 1970s, variations emerged that included ingredients like miniature marshmallows or even substituting yogurt for some of the mayonnaise to create a lighter version. Its contrasting textures and sweet, savory flavor made it particularly popular during a decade that embraced both tradition and innovation in home cooking. The Waldorf salad evolved beyond its hotel origins to become a staple at ladies' luncheons and bridge club gatherings, often served in individual lettuce cups for a refined presentation. Waldorf salad. Attention to elegance and meticulous food presentation marked the culinary tone of the era, and Waldorf salad stood as a prime example. Magazines from the time often recommended serving it inside hollowed-out apple shells or avocado halves during celebrations, elevating its visual charm and aligning with the growing importance of stylish plating for at-home gatherings. Department stores like Macy's and Marshall Field's featured this dish on their tea room menus, reinforcing its image as refined yet accessible fare for the rising middle class. The inclusion of walnuts, then considered a high-end pantry item, gave the salad an upscale twist. The harmony of sweet and savory, the crunchy and creamy textures, made it a favorite across generations. It appeared everywhere, from grandmother's bridge luncheons to trendy dinner parties hosted by young couples. With no intensive cooking involved, it was perfect for summer events, yet still carried the aura of the famed hotel where it originated. Even casual meals felt elevated with this nod to New York sophistication. Veal Oscar. Veal Oscar is an indulgent dish that layers breaded veal cutlets with crab meat, asparagus, and a generous drizzle of hollandaise sauce. Named in honor of King Oscar II of Sweden, who was renowned for his love of gourmet experiences, the dish was born in the late 1800s. Traditional preparation called for frying veal cutlets, then topping them with sautéed crab and steamed asparagus. A final flourish of velvety hollandaise completed the luxurious composition. During the 1970s, this dish became a fixture in upscale American restaurants, representing the decade's craving for extravagant European fare. Its polished look and rich ingredients made it a go-to for special occasions, defining what it meant to dine in style. Veal Oscar also thrived during the era's obsession with tableside theatrics, where servers would assemble and sauce the dish with flair right before the guest's eyes. It was a quintessential surf and turf plate, capturing America's appetite for lavishness with a nod to continental cuisine. Sole meuniere. Sole meuniere is a refined French delicacy consisting of lightly floured fish fillets, pan-seared in golden butter, and finished with a splash of fresh lemon juice. Named after the traditional French meuniere technique, it gained acclaim in France during the early 20th century and became a global sensation after Julia Child famously tasted it at La Couronne in 1948, an experience she described as life-changing. This dish became symbolic of her love affair with French cooking and helped introduce it to American households. As home chefs in the 1970s tuned into Julia Child's television programs and devoured her cookbooks, sole meuniere became a beloved dinner option that combined elegance with simplicity. Its light, refreshing flavor allowed the delicate fish to shine. As the decade leaned into healthier diets and moved away from heavy meat dishes, sole meuniere gained traction as a lighter protein alternative. With only a handful of quality ingredients required, the dish also reflected the era's growing passion for ingredient-focused meals and culinary authenticity. Refined flavors. Chicken Kiev. Chicken Kiev delivers a flavorful hit with its chicken breasts filled with herb-infused butter, all enclosed in a golden, crispy breadcrumb shell. Its origin sparks debate. Some believe French chefs created it in the early 1800s, while others insist it was the invention of a Ukrainian chef in Moscow during the early 1900s. No matter the origin, Chicken Kiev gained global attention by the mid-20th century and was a staple at elegant dinners and festive gatherings in the 1970s. Traditionally, the dish involves pounding chicken breasts flat, filling them with a garlic herb butter blend, rolling them tightly, coating them in breadcrumbs, and frying until crisp. When sliced open, the melted butter oozes out, creating a rich, flavorful sauce. By the 1960s, the dish was a menu regular across American restaurants, often served with sides like rice or vegetables. Its popularity in the 1970s grew alongside a rising curiosity in Eastern European cuisine, partly inspired by détente and cultural exchanges with the Soviet bloc. Americans were drawn to its dramatic appeal. The moment the knife broke the crust to release the butter was an unforgettable dining highlight. Magazines of the time often gave tips to help home cooks avoid leakage during frying, such as freezing the butter filling or rolling with precision. Its global charm and simple technique made Chicken Kiev perfect for ambitious home chefs aiming to impress without formal culinary skills. As the decade advanced, kitchen appliance brands like Cuisine marketed their tools by showing how they made dishes like Chicken Kiev easier to prepare, merging gourmet aspirations with modern convenience. It remained a fixture through the 70s, appearing on menus from fine dining to family restaurants, embodying a flavorful bridge between Eastern traditions and American appetites. Dramatic finale, Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska became the ultimate dessert centerpiece at 1970s dinner parties, with its striking combination of hot and cold. Ice cream wrapped in meringue and briefly baked until golden. Though the dessert's roots trace back to the 1800s, it saw a huge comeback during the 70s when hosts were eager to impress with spectacular finales. The preparation involved layering ice cream atop sponge cake, then covering it entirely with meringue and baking it quickly at high heat, or flambeing with liquor. The insulating meringue kept the ice cream intact, producing a magical effect that never failed to wow guests. Baked Alaska captured the decade's love for dramatic dining. It required precision and confidence, making it a showpiece of culinary skill. In the 70s, the dessert evolved to include creative ice cream combinations beyond the classic vanilla. Flavors like chocolate mint were popular choices. Successfully executing this dish brought bragging rights, as balancing the timing between browning the meringue and keeping the ice cream frozen was no small feat. This dessert epitomized the flair of the era, merging technique with theatrical presentation, an edible spectacle that fit right in with the bold, expressive, entertaining styles of the time. Classic elegance. Veal marsala. Veal marsala is a refined Italian dish showcasing tender veal cutlets slowly simmered in a luxurious marsala wine sauce. Marsala magic, a taste of Italy's heart. Originating from the sun-kissed island of Sicily, where marsala wine has been cherished since the 1700s, this elegant dish found its fame in Italian-American kitchens during the mid-20th century. The traditional recipe begins by lightly coating tender veal cutlets in flour, then pan-frying them in butter until golden and crisp. But the real magic begins when the hot pan is deglazed with rich marsala wine, followed by a medley of earthy mushrooms and, in some variations, a touch of cream, crafting a sauce that strikes a delicious balance between sweet and savory. By the 1970s, as American palates ventured beyond just spaghetti and meatballs, veal marsala emerged as a refined favorite on restaurant menus. Its bold flavors and relatively easy method made it a top choice for home chefs, hoping to bring restaurant-style meals to their dining tables. Usually paired with pasta or creamy potatoes, this dish marked a turning point. Americans were beginning to embrace the regional depths of Italian cuisine, beyond the familiar southern Italian staples. Coquilles Saint-Jacques, France on a plate. With a name as poetic as its presentation, Coquilles Saint-Jacques is a dish that whispers elegance. Meaning St. James's shells, it nods to the pilgrimage route to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. The dish features scallops gently sautéed in butter, then nestled into a luscious sauce of white wine, cream, and shallots. Before baking, a dusting of breadcrumbs is added, creating a golden, irresistible crust once it comes out of the oven. In the 1970s, as Americans grew adventurous with French cuisine, this dish became the star of special dinners and elegant parties. Served right in the shell, it combined gourmet flavor with artistic flair, capturing the spirit of a decade obsessed with culinary showmanship. Thanks to the growing availability of tools and ingredients once limited to professional kitchens, confident home cooks proudly made Coquilles Saint-Jacques their signature. For many, it became the ultimate dinner party statement, turning meals into memorable events. Beef Wellington, the crown jewel of the 70s table. If one dish could define culinary ambition in the 1970s, it would be beef Wellington. This luxurious entree featured a succulent beef tenderloin, layered with mushroom duxelle and pâté, then wrapped in flaky puff pastry and baked to a golden perfection. Rumored to be named after the Duke of Wellington, this dish wasn't just food, it was a statement. Mastering it meant you were a serious cook, one who could navigate multiple intricate steps and still deliver a perfectly medium-rare center. It frequently graced the pages of gourmet magazines and sat proudly as the centerpiece at holiday feasts and milestone celebrations. While demanding in both time and technique, beef Wellington became a symbol of prestige, a shining example of how 1970s home cooks weren't just making dinner. They were elevating cuisine. Guests would rave about it for days, making it a legendary dish that sealed the cook's reputation. The dinners? We'd love to hear your stories in the comments. And if this tasty trip through time made you smile, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more journeys through the food, fashion, and forgotten fads of decades gone by. Your support helps us keep these vintage favorites alive and sizzling.